Monday, June the 10th, and this is the progress where we are. As you can see, you got the two halves of the F-16 there. I've put a little bit of a spray of primer on it. I have to retouch some of these parts of white. Got the intake. So as usual, I'm stuck with the problem of being unable to get paint that I want. Anyway, not your problem. I want you to be mildly interested or entertained, which is a chance to be a fine thing, they say. What I've done there, this is the afterburner part of the engine that goes on there, and what I've done is painted it black, and then with a dry brush technique, which is a brush with most of the paint taken off, and just wafted over so a little bit catches the highlights. I've painted the what is effectively the working part of the back of the afterburner. And the other thing I've done is paint the inside of the tailpipe exhaust nozzle a creamy colour. It's actually linen is the colour, but that should be suitable enough for my plan to try and recreate in paint the little interior ceramic sort of parts of the these parts which normally squeeze in and out, you know. Now, all the technical terms and scientific data for me, like an aeronautics course from a person who doesn't know about aeronautics. So what I've done with that now, I got some 2.5mm Tamiya tape, which is a tape they use for specifically for modelers by the company Tamiya in Japan. And I've measured the distance from there to there. It's about 11mm, and I've marked out two strips of 2mm Tamiya tape, and marked along it sections of 11mm long, with a gap in between so I can hold it. And what I propose doing is to cut one end, hold it to the other, and then lower it to reach the 11mm mark at the end of the nozzle, so they can be evenly spaced around the inside. And then I can paint the interior then sort of burnt iron or darker aluminium sort of colour for the interior, and then take the tape off, and you should have some sort of effect of the inner workings of the nozzle. That's the plan. In the meantime, the other thing I've done, I've shown you that, haven't I? Yeah, there we are. Decals for the control panels on the side. And I've got the, oops, that's right, drop it, Rob, go on, throw it around. I've got the little controller on the side, you know, the fly-by-wire stick, side stick. That's glued in place with a bit of white glue. And very tiny, isn't it? Got to really do a very good job, careful magnifying job to try and get that with decals on. There's 2 decals on there. Right, the other thing I wanted to show you was the back of the ejector seat is usually hollow, so I put a bit of plasticine in the back of it and painted over it just to tidy it up a bit. Otherwise I was afraid you could see the empty back of the headrest. All these little touches, which most of the time, see that's the other one, that's where it is normally. So there are 2 seats in here because the same kit sprue is for the 2-seat version, the B model. And I put a bit of plasticine in the back of it and painted over it, and nobody should ever know till I told them just now. And I put some Tamiya tape to put some seat belts, harnesses on there as well, when I figured out what colour it should be. Right. Okay, so again, I'm going to put it painted inside. Now that light is pretty much dried. I'm going to just kind of keep on doing this until it's Oh, it's reactivating, not reactivating, it's gonna let it dry overnight probably. But it's taking longer than I hoped. As I said, everything's an experiment with me. Trying to get it to work with the lack of real paint that I need to use. But anyway, I'll do it on the outside as well, because I want a darker shade between the veins of the nozzle. And I'll dry brush the outside ones then as a lighter aluminium colour perhaps. Yep. Nozzle! Yeah, don't often get a chance to shout nozzle, do you? This is the paintwork I was showing you. I was masked up the other day to make a little effect of those parts inside of the exhaust nozzle on an F-16. Hasn't worked as well as I'd hoped. It looks a bit rough, to be honest, but perhaps I can dirty it up with a bit of, oh yeah, but I'm going to make it better. Dirty it up with a bit of dusty weathering stuff. It's an effort, isn't it? Have a go at it. I've glued the inside part of it on there now. You can see the whatever they call, burners or whatever they are, injectors or whatever, in the back of the engine. They're in place, all weathered, not weathered, but dry brushed to show the detail. And this is a mixture of gunmetal and aluminium. It needs to be brightened up a bit. I might try a bit of other metallic paints on there. Okay, I put the wing stores together, two hot halves of them. I wanted to show you, I've got things done half and half at the moment. I wanted to show you some technique as far as I use a peg to hold these long items so I can paint them, and then obviously move it on. I can paint that part as well then afterwards. But these have been sanded and scraped clean as can be, but because of the shape of them, you can't always get them round, because there's always a risk when you scrape them, you scrape a flat side on them. And of course, if you keep on doing that all the time, you'll end up grabbing all the detail off it and having going through the thin other side of the plastic. But yeah, that'll do for me as far as my standard is concerned for making a model. I've got the two holes, joining holes there. I've drawn a little bit, scraped some of the paint off so that when it on the pylons it'll adhere better, I think. Okay, the last thing this week is the I put the cockpit in place on the bottom fuselage section. I've got the forward control panel in place as well, and I've glued it where it says to be glued, and there's a little part there and between these little lugs per there. But when you put the so you'd think it would fit nicely now, wouldn't it? So I put the top on, line it all up as it should be, make sure it's all lined up, and don't knock these bits off because they're supposed to be on there. And lo and behold, there's a gap, big stinking gap, about 1 millimeter or 2, right there, behind the canopy, behind the seat. Well, the seat will be there, so it'll cover up some of it, but I'm going to have to put at least 2 sheets of plastic card or something in between there to fill the gap, because I'm not having that in the full display, when really that should be a bit further back. Now, I would have put it further back had I put the, see if it was lining up there, if you can see, then the control panel is a bit further forward than maybe it should be, I don't know. But all I've done is follow the instructions, and that said, put the front of this part in there, where the little box thing is for the lovely bit to go into. and likewise on the back there. So they've steered me duff for there. Got the fuselage nearly ready to stick together. Got the nozzle, which will should fit by, which way up is it? Over there on the back, somewhere like that. And the exhaust, not the exhaust, the tanks and the bombs and the wings here as well. But yeah, that's this week's progress. I hope you've enjoyed little summaries, and speak to you again next week, hopefully. Bye bye. Ta-da.